Hello, everyone. This is Akata Wester. Thank you for joining me again today in The Rose of Venus. I kid you not, this is our third take. It never happened between me and Shannon. We are in a Mercury pre-shadow period, and technology just doesn't work well. Anyway, and as from our last two podcasts together, and we can see the flow is just continuous, like rivers down to the ocean. And there is, the more we search and the more we find, we are searching. And in our searching journey that we find more similarities between us. And this morning, by coincidence, by synchronicity, whatever you call it, we both look at our chart, our soul charts together as well to see where our soul journey connect. And I think we are going to talk about something about our karmic relationship. And let's begin. Shannon, thank you for joining me again.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. It's such a like what came to me looking at it, it's like, oh, like we met at this time because we have like a continuation of where we've traveled before, the energies we've traveled in, call it like past lives, whatever it is. What the lineage of where we've been and where we continue to go, and the divine timing of us meeting again is
Yeah.
definitely to continue that, because again it goes, like you said, from like the rivers to the ocean. It's just like flowing, our connection and our synchronicity. uh, it's flowing.
Yeah.
It is flowing.
Yeah. I think in the last 2 weeks, we are more or less feeling that the calling, which which is a long process that we have been already doing during our journey in understanding, learning astrologies and understanding how our soul evolve. And in particular, I think in this lifetime, with both of us being born a woman, that put us in a certain, I would also consider as a privilege as a woman at this moment in time. And and I think he agrees too. You think?
Hank's like, yes.
Yes.
It's the go ahead.
No, 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 you go.
It's the like you can see it in our charts, and also like the Vesta, like this. And I don't, I'm like to be a woman, but there's goddess energy in being a woman. And some of the thoughts and some of what's been coming to me, and it's coming in like really so strong and so beautifully right now, is bringing that forward. Because like now's the time. Like I was thinking this morning, I was actually going to share this with you. I journaled a year ago, about the male dominated spiritual teachings, like the gurus and like everything, like mostly is coming from males. And now it's time for the female. I'm going to say like woman. Call it feminine energy, but a woman, it's the masculine and the feminine energies harmonized within us. And like our life journey or journeying has come to this point where it's time to embrace that, embody it, and step into it with that fearlessness and that courage. But now's the time, and to support one another where there's true appreciation and connection, because that it's absolutely needed at this time. It's absolutely needed for women to be all of who they are, and to say it as that without trying to, I have like a fear or a wound that I've been working through, and that's like including everyone. Like, oh, let me call my channel as a woman. Like that was the guidance, and it was super strong. And then I changed it to soul connection because I don't want to leave anyone out. And there's so much out in society that is driving a wedge, trying to keep us separated, trying to repress the woman. And I'm like, no, my calling and what I feel like you are very in sync with, and how, and like where we're going is to own that, to be like the responsible, take the responsibility of being that. Because there's this, like, if you think about like duality or polarity, it's the energy of pushing those apart rather than coming together in the oneness of who we are as a woman and then walking on earth as that. Don't need to fight for it. Don't need to be a feminist. Don't need to knock anybody else out of the way. Just walk as that.
I, from what I see in my few years of this spiritual journey since in mid 2020, that who really has certain status in the spiritual world, you hardly find any woman. And regardless, there were that in real life, I have met so many sisters, mentors that are women that have their understanding, their wisdom is so deep. And I think somehow they were the pathfinder, the seeder that preparing when the moment is right, when the consciousness is right. They were paving the way for those who are ready to step up. But then again, I think we as a woman, we cannot step up to a role of leadership or being out there to be proud of who we are until we have personally accept who we are first. This me, this you, who we are through our own personal experience. When we can step up and stand out in our personal life, then we are ready.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, absolutely. Like to first like experience it, and then, and again, I keep saying like walk the walk. Can't just talk. Like words don't have meaning unless the frequency behind those words matches. And I think that is why I feel like we've talked about this before too, is like just like a very narrow path. Like I cannot get away with not being authentic. I cannot get away with not being honest or genuine. Like it won't come out. Like that's when my throat will close up. That's when I'll feel like caged and suffocated. The only way I feel I can go forward is through honesty and authenticity into the unknown. That was the like even so much of the language, like light, dark, negative, positive. Like why does the negative, which represents the woman, and why does the darkness, which what represents the woman, so many speak of it Like it is the evil, the bad, what you want to get rid of. Negative and positive have like equal importance and value. Light and dark has equal importance, because in the dark is where the unknown manifests. In the dark is where like we're in the womb to birth forth the light. If there's no darkness, there's no light to expand. That's why we harmonize it. And that is breaking barriers and having like the courage to step forth, to embody, to own it, to be it, to represent it, and not be understood by many at this time, because as you were saying, those women were paving, creating the energy for more for us to come forward. Now you and I both are being called and answering this call to now be the next pathway forward, paving the way for more, to open up more and more of that space of the woman that isn't blamed, because in society there's still so much to untangle from. As I know you and I both responded to some social media posts. I saw you respond, and it's such unconscious behavior of blaming the woman. It's such unconscious behavior of, like the woman responded to me saying that I was attacking her and she attacked me with that. And I know you saw this, but I just sat with it. I wasn't hurt. I was like, that wasn't an attack. If you just responded without saying sorry or without backing down from that which was truth. And I don't mean like my truth. I mean, not staying in these lower frequencies anymore, where you attack by attacking. It's like, I'm not going to attack this individual back. I simply am going to stand my ground and say, maybe when you can read the comments, maybe when you can see it as adding to you and not taking away from you, you will see the value in what we are wanting to share. And to me, it's like engaging on social media or posts, like engage with me. Engage with me. Don't pick up on one word for what I'm sharing and attack that because you are feeling threatened. Engage with the whole of the message of women supporting women. Not like only support a woman if you don't feel threatened by her, if you don't feel like triggered in a way that makes you feel vulnerable. Like engage with, ooh, this is making me uncomfortable. I'm going to own that. And I think that's like the space where it's like just social media is a thing. I am on social media and learning to navigate that, where I was like, ooh, I'm going to keep getting presented with this until I face it, because I was a fear again, like of, I don't want any unpleasant like comments. I don't want to argue with anybody on here. And like, it's not arguing, it's engaging. It's lifting one another up and it's calling others forward. Yet I have to be so grounded and so self-aware, and to continue on that path to open ways for others to step into this space that truly are coming from honesty and wanting to do better.
Well, I have done a video especially regarding that. And I think I call it What Make a Woman Spiritual. And the fact that when I put myself into her shoes, I think she feels in a general sense of what we are feeling, that the feminine energy, the female aspect energy is not um, represented, is not recognized in a way. And somehow in this particular case, and in many cases that I have seen, is they are using the masculine energy to push out the divine feminine for being a woman. And that is so much to do with the inner work. When we are in social media, as a rule, to play on the algorithm, we ask for attention, right? And somehow, very subconsciously, all of us are guilty of that. I myself was guilty of that. To play the game, to ask, to constant feed on that attention ego. And sooner or later, we put out something that we may not even agree on, but have that spotlight. And before our recording, I said to you, and that was my exact word. You were one of those people have more guts, more courage that I ever met. And to have this consciousness, to know exactly what you want, where you stand, and how you are going to arrive at without pushing. It's just, and I find it, first of all, it's very inspiring, and it is it's admiring as well. I realized that I was playing the game at the end of last year, that I was suffocating myself. Being a person that was totally offline for 2 years and come back to social media, being out with my face, with my voice, with my writing. And at a stage, I was so into this gear of performing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking myself, what the hell are you doing? Is that really what you resonate?
Yeah.
The moment that I decided, no, I'm not playing this game any longer. And just last night, I was writing to a friend, a client, and I said, like, we were talking about the first video that we have, the first podcast that we have. Is I don't really care who watch our video. You like it, you resonate with it, I'm more than happy. If you don't, I'm not forcing myself. It's so liberating.
It's so liberating, and here's here's the gift in that, because it is not, the frequency or the energy is not in the likes or how many see it. The frequency is what you and I created together. The frequency is us in the spiritual world connecting, reconnecting in this life at the time to raise the frequency, because that is unseen. And the work that we're doing, it doesn't matter the algorithm, because the algorithm is our algorithm that we're working in is frequency. It's unseen. That, and you've heard, I'm sure, that, I know like Eckhart Tolle, like Abraham Hicks, some spiritual people that I've followed, is one person in that frequency is more powerful. I've heard anywhere from 100,000 to 1,000,000. So if you think about one me to you in this frequency and co-creating in that is more powerful than somebody that has 1,000,000 followers or 1,000,000 likes, that isn't in an alignment, that isn't coming from love, coming from wisdom, coming from authenticity. And I think that's why, because somebody watching this might think like it's not easy to get here. There's like blood, sweat, and tears. Like I've been in balls on the floor, crying, confused, fighting against myself, suffocating, just choked out. I'm like, what is this? It's like, because I'm fighting. Like, I know I don't want to perform. I know I don't want to be inauthentic. I know I don't want to chase the likes, the attention. But to break out of that has been excruciatingly coming to my knees and facing myself and looking in the mirror and going, okay, like, what are you doing about it? Like, you're looking out there, you're never going to find it out there. And to untangle, just like that Sabian symbol for the Libra full moon, which we might have to share the link or something. It is that going within and finding that clear channel within ourselves, which means we have to like go in that direction. Remember the first video we recorded when I had that dream, and it was really the apocalypse when it was happening, and I was guided to go in the direction, and just everybody was going that way. I was like, no, I'm supposed to be going this way. And I think that really like kind of like activated your and I's connection. And kind of if you think about like coming into that flow, the rivers into the ocean, is meeting up again, because you also need that support from other women that are willing to be brave as you are. You're willing to like, oh, okay, like this isn't for me either. And for us to be able to connect and share, like that woman you were emailing with, like if one person, if two people like watch us and get this experience and they're like, oh, that's the way I'm supposed to be going as well. Like that's how we shift from this thousands of years of women, the feminine, which does absolutely affect men, like that repression, to pull ourselves up out of it, because we are going against the majority, still walking that way, wanting to walk this way, but still needing examples. So it's again like stepping up and leading the way, and it won't be recognized by the masses, and it's not supposed to, because we are breaking through what we came here to break through.
Well, I would like to read us that Sabian symbols here. So the Sabian symbol is phrase 186 at Libra 6 degree. The picture would be a man watches his ideals taking a concrete form before his inner vision. The keynote: the need to visualize clearly one's dream or ideals in order to make them truly effectual. According to a French proverb, what is well conceived can easily be formulated. The process of interior visualization can be quite essential, except in the case of a creative individual who has become a totally pure channel for the descent of spiritual power, and a clear lens through which the archetype in the mind of man or God can be projected without distortion wherever needed. In other cases, the creative act is less direct. A man projects into the world what he has seen, reflected on the screen of his individualized consciousness. This is the first stage of the process of individualized existence. It is a phase of interior formulation in preparation for a creative projection of one's ideals or concepts.
So do you know, I'm not familiar with this. Where was that? The 38 five-fold sequence, the symbolized phases. Are you familiar with that?
No, because like the Sabian symbols is like following exactly 360 degrees according to our natal chart. So what it is, how it is developed is like, for instance, this French astrologer that I followed for the Sabian symbol, then I'm sorry about my pronunciation. What he have done was, for this 360 degrees, they give him 360 pages blank. And from there, he download an image for each degree.
Mm-hmm.
And since our normal natal chart starts from Aries, 0 degree, and in the Sabian symbols is always going, if for instance, my sun is 25 degree in Libra, I will go to the next degree, which is 26. So instead of 0 degree, the first degree will be Aries 1. So what happened is, when you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 30 degree of each sign, each zodiac sign, when we arrive to Libra 6 degree, that is 186 because of the 186 from Aries 1. And each sign, as we know, that is divided into 3 sections. What do we call it? Anyway, like in each zodiac sign in the house, we have the first 10 degrees, which is represent the body. The next 10 degree represent our emotions, and the third 10th degree represent our spiritual abilities, right? So when he said, sorry,
the first stage of the
38
fivefold.
Yeah, because the Libra 6 degree is still within the first section of the first 10 degrees.
Yeah.
And 186 represent from Aries 0, going through the whole will until from Aries, and when we arrive to Libra 6, would be the 186 degree.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And
That so that Sabian symbol to me just like really represents and speaks to that clear channel. Like to be a clear channel means to clear out all of our blockages, all of that suffocating, all of who we are not, and coming into the wholeness of who we are. That to me, like that's the clear channel. And it takes being able to look at you, me, like looking at ourselves and seeing every way which we have been like kind of like conditioned to believe something and not let that affect how we move forward. Like, I know like when I'm like sitting with clients or when I'm in sessions with a client, it is to become a clear channel for them. So I'm not projecting any of my wounding onto them. I'm not going to say I'm perfect by no means, no. But that's the intention, and that is like the life path is to be that clear channel for myself and for others. And this is for the March 25th,
yeah.
right? The Sabian symbol.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because the moon is
yeah,
at 5 degrees and something, and we go to the 6th degree.
yeah. So it's very, it fits. It fits. It comes back to not about perfection. It's about, I know that we talked about this before we started recording, but really it's this, and I even dreamed about this last night. I'm telling you, every time we're going to be on a call, I'm going to have this very significant dream. And it was a group of women talking about like being a bitch. And it's like not being a bitch or how to be a bitch. And as I shared with you, I'm like, oh, it's just, again, in nature, like a bitch, it's like a female, whoever is in the like animal kingdom, like the female will smack the other one's acting up. They like it, like that's not acceptable behavior right now, or now it's like it's time to eat, or just again, it's time to travel. Smack, get back in line. No attachment, no anger, no blaming, no anything. It's just smack, get back in line, continue on without attachment, without any emotional baggage. And to me, like that is like sometimes being a bitch in this environment that we're currently in. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. It's part of being a woman. It's part of not attacking, just smacking. Like that's really not okay behavior. Calling it out, addressing it. Is there's so much happening right now where people are so afraid to call others forward. People are so afraid of getting canceled, of getting, what is that favorite word of offensive. Don't be offensive. Like that comment right there is offensive. So there you go. And like, so the fear of like offending, the fear of not saying the perfect thing that you're going to get unfollowed or you're going to get unliked or you're going to get a nasty comment. So it is that part of the woman, that part of being a bitch is like, go ahead, attack me. I'm not going to attack you back. Or maybe I'll be in a mood and I will attack you back. Just being free to just be in flow and be in the moment for whatever comes our way. Like that is strength. That is courage. That is leadership. But holding back and not speaking and being afraid of the world, that is not leadership. That is not spirituality. Like the spiritual idea that you always have to spiritually bypass. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to fully experience life, which means getting messy, getting dirty, getting in it, learning the lessons, being able to come from love, which sometimes means uncomfortable, which sometimes means, like I've been experiencing this lately, it's I'm not okay with your behavior. I'm not going to participate in that behavior, and being attacked. Like this literally just happened to me a couple days ago. Like now I'm the bad person. Now I'm horrible, and this individual never wants to talk to me again because they were harming themselves and harming others. And I witnessed it and I said something. That's being a woman. That is being brave. That is being courageous. That is breaking the cycles of allowing harm.
As you started to connect with your dragon energies, and that is, I think, at the end of the day, exactly that. A dragon doesn't discuss with you. He knows his strength. You are not aligned with mine? Fair and square. When each person embrace that energies in them, and I don't think that each of us needs to have the dragon energies in our birth chart, but by acknowledging it, we all have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we are so manipulated to be nice.
Yeah.
And somehow through the dragon birth wheel, that when we see things from above, really doesn't matter. The fact, as in your dreams, that you walk the opposite positions, directions from the others is exactly that. Being in real life. And come what may.
And
It's
knowing there's no way I'm gonna go that way. Like hell no. Like there's nothing about like it was just so absolutely not. Like when you're all ready, you can come this way too. There's no way that I'm going with the masses to destruction and that not towards the destruction, not staying in those cycles that are generational. Like that's the generational trauma, is being able to break out of that and go, oh no, I'm going this way. I'm being called, I'm following guidance. I'm going to listen to that guidance and know absolutely without a doubt that that's the way to go. I'm not going to force anybody. I'm not going to yell at you. You're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. If you step over and ask me where I'm going, I'm going to tell you. If you want to come along, I'm more than happy to have you walk with me.
Yes. But then again, I don't think that is such a lonely journey as we perceive it, as we see it. I think there is a great number of silent majority that are not voicing out just yet. But they know very well where they are going. And come on, Pluto in Aquarius. We just can't stop what is coming. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, again, as I'm sure, like those that you travel with have changed dramatically. I mean, I'm completely in a different area. I still love many people that I moved away from, and I was talking to one yesterday who's been a dear, dear friend for over 20 years, and we talk on and off. It's one of those women I knew is not time yet. There's also that, like, still experiencing life and not ready to shift into that. And I've always known it was coming at this time. Pluto going into Aquarius, like, I've always known it's been at this time. Yet like, some people are still gathering life experience. Still people are not ready to me, it's like, don't have enough, haven't learned enough, haven't experienced the path that they're on yet, and we go in like the other direction, still have more lessons to learn before they're ready to go on that path. So I see that as well. And I talked to her yesterday, and we had like one of the best conversations we've ever had in the over 20 years of friendship. And it was that she shared with me, she's like, I was jealous when you went through like your spiritual awakening. She's like, I want that. And again, wasn't ready there. And it was like, that takes courage to be authentic and share that. And also, yeah, I felt it, because going through a spiritual awakening, when you're looking around at everybody else and kind of trying to figure everything out, it wasn't, I was like, even like, am I worthy of this feeling? Am I worthy of this? Being scared to leave others behind. So it's finally like having the courage to go in that direction, because as you said, it's not lonely, it's scary at times to go alone that way, and to want to pull others with you and to allow them to find their own way. So there's that piece as well that has been a challenge to sit with, look at, learn from, allow, and to go anywhere. So it's, again, it goes back to where it's getting to that place where you're going to walk that path no matter what. There's a lot of facing ourselves through that, and our relationships with others play into that as well.
I would like now to do a little meditation to bring us into this heart space before we close the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we take a few deep breaths. Breathe in this white, pink, loving light into our body, to every corner from head to toes. We breathe out all the toxins, negativities from inside our bodies. A few more of that. Breathe in pink, white light. And breathe out the toxins, the negativities. Just one more. And out. Now, while we are breathing naturally, we bring our attention to our heart chakra. where we find a golden lotus opening just for you. And we stepped into the middle of this lotus. Feelings, these petals keep opening up. Never ending. Never ending. And these lotus give out that golden white light, surrounding us into a sphere inside the heart of this lotus. Just stay there to bring us into this heart chakra, feeling the divine that is in us, through us, with us. Let us be surrounded through this divine mother love from Sophia. And very slowly, we bring our consciousness back to our body. And grateful for this golden lotus, holding this multi-dimensional space. And we step out from these spheres, from this lotus. back to our hearts. Feeling our bodies, our fingers, toes, our breathing. When you are ready, we can open our eyes.
That is one of your many, but one of my favorite gifts. That's your guided meditation.
And thank you, everyone, for staying with us. Until next time. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.